Before I get started, I just want you all to know there's going to be strong, foul, and offensive language in this video. If you're someone who's not comfortable with hearing certain words, I completely understand. Everything I say will be out of frustration with this situation. Even so, if you're not comfortable with hearing certain words, then now's your chance to click off the video. Now, the reason for me making this video is a rant about a certain situation that happened last week. A situation that's honestly been causing me a lot of stress. I tried putting this behind me a few days ago, but it's still been in my mind ever since. And hopefully after I say everything that I want to say in this video, hopefully I'm able to move on from this whole thing. So this whole thing is because of my Life is Strange video, specifically the one about double exposure being the worst in the series. Now, even if you're not a fan of Life is Strange and don't really know anything about it, you don't really need to know anything about it in order to understand this video. This is just to add context to what happened and how it happened. But before that, I want to take time to talk about this, because this is very important for later in the video, as it involves one of the individuals I'm going to be talking about in this video. Now, I'm not going to say where this is from, because I don't want any sort of drama being added to this person's channel, but this was another person's channel. And the person whose channel this is under has nothing to do with this, so they have no reason to be involved in this. Which is why I won't bother saying what channel this is under. This all started with someone saying, it actually baffles me that people chose to join her. Now, to give context as to what he means, he's talking about the last choice in Life is Strange Double Exposure, about siding with one of the characters. And one of the individuals of this story, River Acrobat, replies with, I did, what's the issue? And a person replies with, sorry, I'm not trying to judge, I just think she's not a good person and is generally a psycho. To me, Canamax would never choose someone who shoot her mother and ruin people's lives for fun. So then I decided to also reply to him. You know, since it's a public community post on YouTube. Now I'm not going to bother reading this all, especially if there are some of you that are watching this that aren't familiar with Life is Strange. But if you want to, and if you did in fact take time to read all this, and you can see I made it clear that my point was to criticize this from a narrative perspective, while at the same time also defending River Acrobat's right to do what he wants in his game. I'm separating narrative criticism from player agency. Just because I think a certain choice in a video game is bad writing, doesn't mean I don't think people aren't allowed to choose that choice. And I'm making that very clear here. Now we'll come back to this. As for my video on Life is Strange Double Exposure, I decided to make a post promoting it on Reddit, on a subreddit of this video game. And I also promoted it on another subreddit. But they're both deleted now, so you won't be able to find them there. Now, the very first comment I got in there was someone telling me how I wasn't getting a lot of positive reactions. This person was warning me of what to come, and honestly, this person is really cool to do that. This person was cool too about saying how he respects me for taking the effort to create and edit my video. I did receive other comments that were pretty cool about this. Whether they wanted to have a discussion or not, they were very civil and respectful about it. Now, of course, there were people that took issue with this, but some of them went so bad. Then I encountered Fun Inside, the other individual this video is about. Fun Inside definitely took issue with what I did. I tell him that there's nothing in the rules that say that I couldn't have promoted my own video. In telling the post the worst in the series when that's my opinion. My opinion is loud on the subreddit because one of the rules says, respect differing opinions. For real, that's what Rule 3 says, be respectful for differing opinions. And based on what I said in the description, in the conversations I had with people, I'd say I was doing just that, as I was being civil and respectful to everybody. So what I did was completely okay and allowed on the subreddit. Even in my first response to Fun Insider, I was telling him, hey, I don't tell people whether they should like or dislike something or that they're wrong for it. Because it's true, I think people are allowed to like and dislike whatever they want. Now his second response to me is like, I don't know what the fuck he went with this first part. But the second part, he says that people went to the subreddit because they're tired of being bullied for liking the game. I will say that I did not know this at the time, but honestly it would have made a difference. Because I still would have made that post to promote my video. Because that and having discussions on stuff like why Life is Strange Double Exposure might be bad is allowed on the subreddit. If you want to avoid conversation like this, fine, you can absolutely do that. But then why did you bother responding to me? You could have just ignored it. You know what is the best way to avoid a conversation as to why something you like might be tarnished? Is by ignoring it.
That's a good point. You've got a good point.
Here, I challenge the idea if I'm being a bully here and remind him of the rules of the subreddit. Here, he admits that I wasn't a bully, so I thought we were cool here. Then he goes on to compare me sharing my opinion on a subreddit where my opinion is allowed as to insulting someone's dog.
What?
While still being civil and respectful, I tell him this is false equivalency. Because someone comparing sharing their opinion on a video game to insulting someone's dog is honestly ridiculous and sad. Like, I can understand having joy in something that you like a movie, TV show, or video game. But you would compare that to having love for a pet that you would view as a family member? Really? Then he hits him with the nah-uh argument, and says that I was being disingenuous. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is where I started to really question his intelligence. This is where I'm like, trying not to insult his intelligence, but it's like, come on, really? Then he responds to that with, whatever, honestly, go around yucking people's yum and feeling validated. Get shit feedback and pushback. Ciao.
So he's an idiot.
Yeah.
And this is where River Acrobat comes into play, which surprised me, because at first he was actually being cool about this. He responds to Fun Insider lying about what I told him on that community post. The post I showed you guys earlier in the video. Claiming that I told him he was spitting on the graves of Chloe and the people of Arcadia Bay.
No, I didn't.
understand?
No, I
You
did
said
not.
that-
Show me that. Show me that. Show me that right
All
now.
right.
The same screenshot that I showed you guys before, I showed to him as I replied to him, and I was really pissed with him doing this. I told him it was fine if he didn't want to have a discussion with me about my video, but that doesn't mean he should lie. And I kid you not, he replied back, even though I showed him the evidence, and even said that he wasn't lying, even after being shown the proof.
Are you retarded?
So I replied back, telling him what I told him before. Telling him that the main character, Max, is the one who was spitting on the graves. The character in the game. The character in the universe. I was criticizing the narrative here. Even doubling down, saying that he wasn't the problem and he has every right to do what he wants in his game. Once again, separating narrative criticism from player agency. You remember how Fun Insider said I was being disingenuous? Well, he came back and was being disingenuous himself by saying this was all about Chloe. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's like a really popular character within the Life is Strange series. I even tell him that my video is over 30 minutes long and I only talk about that character for about 3 to 5 minutes in a video that he didn't even watch. Also, if he was looking at the screenshot, he would note the conversation wasn't about the character that he said. Once again, River Acrobat showing he has no fucking brain cells. Then implies to Fun Insider that I mean the conversation about Chloe. Then I see Fun Insider's dumbass say, oh, I didn't mean you at all. I know where you stay in this conversation, and you like DE. Wink. Like, are you serious? You just saw proof that he was lying, and you're endorsing a liar? Brian says something like, hey, I know we agree on double exposure is good, but you shouldn't lie. But no, instead, he decides to endorse the liar. And he had the audacity to say what I did wasn't nice behavior?
You are really fucking stupid.
Here, River Acrobat is gaslighting as he's talking about the character, the bad character that he sided with. And says, I get the impression that you think I'm making the wrong choice.
Are you retarded?
Where in that community post did I give off that impression? Where and how? I literally said I don't take issue with you making that choice. When it's your game and you can do whatever you want. So I'll say, you're not to blame for the awful choices and the story. I tell him once again, I don't think he's wrong, and even if I did, it doesn't matter, because it's his game and he can do whatever he wants. Once again, I explain that my issue is with developers putting that choice in the game. My issue with it is from a narrative perspective. In his next response, he of all people says that in my video, I'm arguing in bad faith, which completely blew my mind. Because a bad faith argument is a dishonest, manipulative, or insincere attempt to win a debate rather than find the truth. It often involves hidden agendas, deliberate misrepresentation of the opponent's views, straw man, and personal attacks designed to deceive, dominate, or exhaust the other party. which is exactly what River Acrobat and Fun Insider have been doing to me. Especially River Acrobat when I showed him proof of him lying. I made it clear to him several times that I'm separating narrative criticism from player agency. Those are very two different things that I separate. At this point, I was fed up with them lying, being disingenuous, and mischaracterizing everything I was saying. And because of this, I was led to believe that he has a victim mentality. Because he keeps bringing up like, oh, you have a problem with me? He keeps making the problem about him over and over again, when I repeatedly told him that he is not the problem. Now, this wasn't the last of it. There was more stuff going on with me, River Acrobat, and Fun Inside. They kept up the lie, were being disingenuous, and mischaracterizing what I said to them. Now, of course, I'm at fault because I kept on responding to them. Kept this going, but then I decided to delete the post and stop with this for good. I'm done being civil, and I'm done being respectful to them. I'm done, and I'm taking the gloves off. Now, River Acrobat, if you're watching this, I want to tell you and Fun Inside something. I'm done trying to explain something that someone with an IQ of 10 can easily understand. You can't handle discussions like this if you took what I said as a personal attack. Maybe if you stopped taking everything as a personal attack, your life would be so much better. You want to keep playing victim? Then go right ahead. Keep on playing victim like the little bitch you are. As for you, Fun Inside, you can cry as much as you want about me sharing my opinion. You know better than River Acrobat and the people who bullied you guys. The only difference is that they didn't decide to hide in an echo chamber like a coward. And the best part is that you know you're a coward. These two aren't interested in having discussions. They just want people to comply with them. If you have a different opinion of them and try to explain it, they'll just attack you for it. They'll lie, gaslight you, be disingenuous, and mischaracterize what you say to them. I'm officially done dealing with Tweedledum and Tweedleidiot. As for all of you who made it towards the end here, please do not engage with these people at all, whether it's on YouTube or on Reddit. I made the mistake of wasting so much energy on them, and I don't want you guys to make that same mistake. If you guys have any thoughts on this, feel free to leave them down below in the comments.